Hello, rugby mates. Round 5 of the greatest Six Nations tournament in history.
Greatest ending ever.
Do you think we overcooked it a bit in the celebrations?
Mate, I'm the first one to do that. They both became Kevin Keegan.
I have seen level 3 club rugby players do stuff better.
Ollie Chester, you got to score under the post. Missed so much, I was so excited. It could have been 5-hour pod. I think I'd give him 9 in the tournament.
Yeah, I think I would as well.
First half was their best half of the championship, and Italy's first half was their worst half.
Hello, rugby mates. Round 5 of the greatest Six Nations tournament in history. I'm not even going to ask you, Greens, whether it was the greatest. Yeah, it was. Oh, now I have to ask you because you've done that. Was it?
Well, I think it's like it was the greatest Cheltenham Gold Cup ever. It's always, the most recent is always the best. Do you not think? It just gets better every year? I bet next year's better than this one, 100%.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. The jeopardy on the final weekend, the matches themselves, unbelievable.
Yeah, I get on the jeopardy. I go on the jeopardy. I get it.
Over the course of the tournament, I feel like it was the greatest tournament in Six Nations history.
What's changed? I'll tell you what's changed. Refs.
Oh.
What have they gone for? Speed, safety, space, and courage over the last 4 or 5 years. I mean, I remember the days when refs used to reward jackals with joy. Crowds would applaud Bastereau in over the breakdown, winning another jackal. Yes, the defence wins. I think now you see what Sean Edwards says. Look, I think you can excuse 48-46 to a degree and high-scoring games to a degree with refs. I also think some teams are defending like Muppets. That's a separate point. But I think once you now get an older commentators, people who've been in the game a longer period of time who feel you should keep the scoreboard ticking, I still think there's a place for that. But you begin to understand why. Are we in Gen Z? Are these kids Gen Z?
I get very confused with what gen we are.
This crowd now go, if you have the ball in the opposition 22, unless you commit murder, the referee will let you score. Unless you do something ridiculous, and occasionally they'll pull you up on in a line-out throw, the front lifter will block or someone will seal off, but you've got to literally dive off your feet, 3 of you, like Tom Daly, to kill the ball. Otherwise, you're getting all these games because, look, the finale, yes, and the kick, and
This is classic Rugby Mates pod because I came in with a statement that I thought was just pure fact. Greatest Six Nations tournament in history, and bang, we're into Tom Daly.
It's the greatest ending ever.
It's the greatest ending. So let's talk about that because I'm a sports geek. You're a proper sports geek. And I was trying to work out what was it that was so amazing about that final kick, final game of the championship. And of course, it's the tournament aspect of it, right? It's the fact that it's not a World Cup final where the result is the finality, right? Like it's a win or lose. Here we've got a third team sitting in the wings, a la 2012, Man City versus QPR, with Man United sitting in the background with everything on the line. That's what was special about it. It's the tournament format, and you've got a little bit of history with that particular moment that I've highlighted there.
Yeah, Rooney scored, beat Sunderland. Our game, I say our game, I'm a City fan, and hands up if you're at the Etihad that day. The desperation we felt, there's one of my great mates, I promise you, he's one of the best lawyers on the planet. I think you know him.
Yeah, Chris.
You can't name him.
You can't name him?
No, you can't, but not his surname. He's called Chris. And he's sucking his thumb, crying, going, I've waited 4 years for this. Before, when QPR had 2-1 up. I was like, Chris, mate, ain't over till it's over. There's a load of time yet for Joey Barton, who was playing for QPR, to do something stupid or something to go horrifically wrong. Jacko, corner, bang. Ooh, I've already got hairs on the back of my neck. Oh, Jesus. Balotelli rolls it round. So, yes. And then it's sort of, in those days, you watched the Man United fans listen to their, they were transistor radios, weren't they? Listening to their transistor radios. Oh, and the faces and Fergie's face. They were doing a lap of honour.
Yeah.
And all the United fans are, ooh. So, a little shout out, and I will name this fella, to James Nesbitt. Hey, kid. You had a lot of fun at my expense this tournament, Jimmy. Oh yeah, you've been sending me texts, talking about all sorts of things, which you shouldn't be talking about. And going, oh, did you play today? All that sort of stuff. Mate, every time England lose, I mean, I know England did lose, but it sort of affected you, didn't it, Jimmy?
Do you know what I haven't seen yet? And it must be out there. I haven't seen the Irish team room. I haven't seen the Irish reaction to that final kick.
There's been some ones on TikTok, but not from the Irish team.
No.
From other
Of course.
Irish people.
Yeah, but I mean, that's almost...
And we're not, we should, this, by the way, we love Ireland. They've been amazing. I'm going to talk
100%.
about how good they are. I think it's more the sporting moment of being robbed and what was the horse? Was it Foynhaven or Devon Lock? The Queen's horse who was going to win the national for the first time and did a fake. Have you not seen this?
No.
Does a fake jump. Thinks there's a it's
Oh,
the most
yeah.
mysterious thing
Yeah.
in the world out. And there are just certain sporting moments where you're all ready to celebrate and here we go and oh no. What's just happened there?
Do you think we overcooked it a bit in the celebrations when Freeman goes over, Pollock, Freeman?
No.
No, I didn't feel that at all. But again, you look at some of the chat online, and it's they felt like they'd won it, but actually, I felt like the rest of the boys were back there.
You get, but you come on every time the camera goes on to you, you're getting booed, which is Henry, right? He's getting booed the whole time. So he comes on, his mucker, his club mucker, drops in under the sticks, and it's gone quiet. Mate, I'm the first one to do that. I am the first one. Where you gone now? Saint Denis gone a little bit. Can't do shush in French. Don't know what it is. But if you cannot celebrate when you score for England, never mind. No matter what the score, I get it. If you're getting beat by 40, be a little bit mooted, but still score a little fist bump, something like that.
Yeah.
If you score in Paris to go 46-45 up
With 2 minutes on the clock.
with 2 minutes to clock on the clock, I'm come on. There are some. Honestly, I know I don't swear because I force you to beep out the stuff for the post-match reaction. Honestly, there are some miserable bastards.
There are.
That is the one and only time in this show that I want you to leave it in. I'm going to repeat it. There are some miserable bastards who are having a pop at him for jumping up and down.
It's
I would
ridiculous.
have been just brilliant.
Yeah, agreed. Well, look, I think the only place to actually start in terms of the weekend's action is getting into that epic last game. And I suppose let's start with, rather than going into the minutiae, because there's a lot of that. I mean, we could pick up so many moments.
You need to stick an orange or an apple in my mouth to stop talking about
Stop
minutiae.
talking about minutiae.
Okay,
yeah.
Big picture.
But let's go big picture to start with, because I said this pre-pod record, Greens. I looked back at some of our content from last year and the year before, and
How does it age?
It doesn't age very well, because, and I'm going to explain why it doesn't age very well from a fan's perspective, because Mr. Will Greenwood used almost to the word the same language.
Don't go back.
This is the template. Do not go back. Right.
But that's why we've been so miserable about them, and we've been killing them for it.
Yeah,
and they've gone back to it, and they've gone back and they showed how they can do it.
Exactly. So I think the very real question for all England fans, for someone like me, is there was such joy watching England play with that freedom, with that expression, like seeing these boys put their skill set, put the best versions of themselves on the pitch. And it was in such stark contrast to what we saw in those 3 defeats. And the obvious question is why. What is it that is holding those boys back from that performance? Because it just doesn't make sense to me. My prediction pre-game was that England are going to get hammered, and that was on the evidence of the last 3 games that I'd watched, where I looked at the leadership group and I thought they were bereft of ideas, didn't know where to turn. And then we see levels of intensity that we'd not seen over the previous few weeks, and just a kind of a clarity and a freedom and a determination that just didn't feel like it was there. And I'm like, what? Why? What's going on?
Who knows?
Brilliant. There we go.
See.
End the pod. Who knows?
Who knows? Because you're not in camp. You can only, again, people have got to be really careful, because I know some of the people always write comments like, stop talking about football. Football guy Anthony Gordon missed the first leg of the Barcelona game, plays for Newcastle. Mm-hmm. Shearer and Rooney came out and killed him. Turns out he'd been ill for 3 days, and it was the coach who said, he's not playing, he's on the bench. And they're like, wild horses, Rooney, Shearer, wild horses wouldn't have stopped me from playing in that game. Newcastle versus Barcelona, Champions League, here we go, round of 16, you've got to play. Turns out there's always a slightly different story. So we're now, when we go into minutiae, I feel comfortable about being really strong. When we go into this area, it's really different, because there's a lot of things that could be going wrong. Have they finally got selection right? Had selection been wrong? Desperation, when you're on the edge of humiliation in a violent sport, it brings out performances of that level. La Crunch, this game, historically, the last 3 years has gone to the last kick. So in your mind, you're there. A few of these England lads have won in Paris, and they love it, and therefore they know it's going to be a big dust-up, and they're going to go, and they know that if you stay in it with France, that they'll do something stupid, or they'll go off the boil for 5 to 10 for 15 minutes. They'll let you in it. The confusing thing, which is totally right, is the preparation wrong? But again, we're just because the opening. I know we ended up going 7-0 down, but the opening 5 or 6 minutes as a template for how you should start a game of rugby, where players are allowed to be the player they are for their club, and therefore the reason they're picked. Atkinson carrying hard, Spencer arriving at breakdowns, at pace, at tempo, with his head up. He tells you he hasn't played like that in 18 months.
Yeah, he was unbelievable.
I don't think he played that well on the Lions. I don't think he played as well as this on the Lions tour. Yeah. Every single one of them. And I think
Chesham,
bravery.
Brave.
So yeah, unbelievable. So many sports talk about, like, you're at the MCG cricket, and it's you've got 4 runs on the ball, you're 2 wickets down, right? And you're thinking, who's going into bat at number 5? A team that is splintering and going off, you look around, everyone's on the loo. I'm not ready. I'm not padded up. Send it in. You know, you can look at all the different sport. Football, you're getting beat 2-0 at the Bernabeu, and you're looking to play little angles and ball, and everyone's, I don't want the ball. I'm going to run and pretend that I'm doing something. And in rugby, you look at some of the England games in the last 2 or 3 weeks of what's been going on. It's like, I'm just going to do my job. I'm ticking my job off. It's fine. On Saturday night, it was like, give me the chuffing ball. They were bumping each other out of the way. There's one carry where Genji's coming and Spencer's in close to the line. They're literally, Genji elbows someone. Guys, I want it. And it's everything we've talked about being on toes, head over, going, if Spencer nibbles, I'm going. If Seb has a run, I'm going to be on his shoulder. If Finn goes to the line, I'm going to give him an option. If there's a wide ruck, 3 forwards, I'm going to come and we're going to align ourselves beautifully so Spencer can hit all 3 of us. I'm not going to hide behind the usual ball cat. I'm going to offer myself. And they offered themselves and they ran themselves into the ground. And that start was magic. I mean, it was, back on it, it was like freaking Kevin Keegan. Steve Borthwick became Kevin Keegan. You score 6, we'll score 7, which is what they did. But we missed a few kicks at goal and a few things, and the timings of different tries and different things didn't quite work. But it was, we're coming. We're coming. We're going to keep coming. We're going to keep playing. And there was so much. This is so contradictory. There was so much that was bad about England on Saturday. Oh my God! At times, you were thinking,
I have seen level 3 club rugby players do stuff better.
but that's why which we'll talk about. But what we want, you can forgive pub rugby in certain moments. If when we've got the ball,
we're doing that.
You go like that, and you go, "Oh, wasn't that magical?" Yeah. And we'll just paint over everything. It's like a massive. What's the building analogy when subsidence? There's a massive rift outside your house. You dare the surveyors found everything. Just plaster over it quietly. House looks magic, right?
Yes.
I'll
tell you what, and for folks that are watching this, and if you're watching the Rugby Mates pod, you are probably a bit of a rugby nose because we really get into it. But I think the challenge for all of the analysts looking at that game is it was a bit of a masterpiece of a game of rugby, just in terms of the talking points. There were so many moments throughout the game that were just incredible to talk about in isolation. And when you put them all together, I mean, sometimes you end up with a game that's, it's 2 or 3 talking points. I felt like there were so many little moments, compounded errors, which I know that you're very big on sometimes. The subtlety and the detail in this game, that there's a lot that we can get into.
Yeah, and again, back on Aristotle, you are what you repeatedly do. Excellence is a habit, not an act, right? And in attack, we were excellent.
Yeah.
In attack, we were excellent. I mean, in defence at times and in decision-making under pressure and some of our discipline, those problems are still there. They're still there. So the reality is, you now need to understand, it's clear at the moment it's taking too long for us to fix our discipline and our defensive errors. Therefore, the only way we can be competitive is by running the ball from not everywhere, but playing rugby with freedom I've said the word freedom. Martin Johnson's going to kill me because he's on Radio 5 Live, right? Mark Chapman went to him. He said about 2 years ago, it was the same thing happened, but he used his word, Martin, do you think England will be able to express themselves today after Jamie George had talked about England hoping to express themselves? Jono was fucking laughing. Right. I'm waiting for the interview and I'm ringing him up and he goes, express.
What does that mean?
We're gonna.
I think I said express yourself.
And then I've just said freedom because Mark Chapman went to him again today on Saturday, and the players had talked about being given the freedom to play, and he goes to Martin and says, Martin, did you give people the freedom to play? And he couldn't speak. He had to go, Paul Grayson, can you answer that? Express yourself. What the frickin' heck does express yourself? And I've just said it. If you're allowed to just go and play and be you, I think that's be you and do your job to the best of your ability. And the captain gives you, and I think then commentators and analysts use the words freedom and express yourselves, and that's where we just go and be the best version of yourself. Like there was a couple of times in the Italy game, and I think we talked about it last week, where Seb Atkinson kicked more against Italy than he's done in 3.5 years at Gloucester. And he's gone back in, and he had one nudge up the left-hand side, but Merley called for it, and it put us into, it did give us territory. I still think it was the wrong option. It was a 4-on-3 and a halfway, and I still think we could have played. But if the wingers, you stuffed it for centre, the wingers saying kick it. But other than that, man, give me the ball, just owned it. And his little tips with Freeman, and then he carried himself. In those levels, brilliant.
Right, I'm going to go slightly off-piste here in terms of, again, that kind of helicopter view, and I'm going to directly contrast sort of Ireland and England, just in terms of their precision and what they do and their emotional intensity, right? Because that's one of the things that I feel like we've been inconsistent with, right? And and I'm speaking for myself here, right? The man that I feel gets man management, emotional intensity, alongside tactics right, the best is Andy Farrell, right? I think he's, I think it's the reason he was a Lions coach. Yeah. I think if you look at the progression from Ireland's performance against France through the tournament and where they've ended up, you cannot look at that. And that, as a fan, is kind of what you want, right? You want a team building. And my thing when I look at England is that I don't want to go on that roller coaster. I don't want to see England being smashed by two teams that we should not be beaten by, and then put in this outstanding performance where we all think we're heroes. By the way, we still lose a game that we should have won. But, for me as an England fan, that doesn't feel like a place that I want to be. And I feel like the stuff, the
What's
fact
the
that
question now?
Well, I feel like the question is that really down to that leadership, right? That coaching leadership.
So you'd still get rid of Borthwick?
I would, yeah. I would, because I've been fairly consistent on that, right? Around this playing rugby by painting by numbers, right? Which I've seen. And when the pressure comes on, we seem to revert to type, right? The thing with England-France is that we all saw it. It's like a shot to nothing, right? This is a game where you can go out, lads, we've got nothing to lose here. Everyone's expecting us to lose by 30 points. Go out there, put the best version of yourself on the pitch. Don't think too much. It felt like you were watching that.
Yeah.
Don't think too much. And so my question, I suppose, is that, and I've thought this for a long time.
We've dropped back into mediocrity too much. I think there's a danger. Again, I don't get paid by RFU, and I'm no one's PR machine. I know we lost in New Zealand. We tore them apart in New Zealand. We've had games where at times we've looked off the chart. And my argument, which is you're right to bring it back, is on the back of what I said in the autumn, I should be stronger on them. As in, you can't go back from here, and we did go back from here. Why do I give them I just see too much talent in that team, and I see a performance like we do on Saturday and fixable bits. And
I agree. There is too much talent in that team. We have every resource under the sun, and I just do not think Steve Borthwick has got the best out of this group. And we've talked about this over the time. I was very worried about consistent coaching changes. I was like, what's going on behind the scenes here when you've got multiple different coaches coming in and out? I don't think that says to me that this is a fantastic culture. And I compare and contrast it to Townsend and Farrell, and I look at them and I go, honestly, I would have either one of them as head coach of England. And I think, personally, I truly believe that the results would be very different. I cannot see the yo-yo in terms of performance tactics that we have seen through this Six Nations, where we've ended up 1 win out of 5. I just don't think it would happen.
Yeah, fair enough.
Fair enough. And it's really difficult, because when we get to next game, Springboks, none of us have got any idea what we are going to see from this England team.
We're going to get more of this.
We are?
I hope so.
You said that.
I hope so.
I'll play you the tape from a year and a half ago. Okay, well, look, do you want to get into any of the little moments within the game?
Yeah, it's have to. We've given them 14 points at the start.
Yeah.
Defensively, all at sea, back three, positioning, system. The first try, they're going nowhere. They're on the halfway line. We know Bielbier is quick. They come around the corner. They have got a 4-on-3. Robert doesn't press too high, which is the right thing to do. Keeps both shoulders square, has him covered. Elliott at the back panics, fills up as a fullback. Don't 50 metres out, don't panic. Don't shoot up and go, oh my God, I've got to close him down because he's the fastest guy in the world. But then you leave a million yards. A quarter of a pitch, a rugby pitch is 7,000 square metres. A quarter of that is, a lot. 1,750 square metres to aim at. And Ramos puts it behind and he scores. It's like, we started brilliantly and we're 7-0 down. We get back to 7-5 and this is when you get club rugby stuff. We have a poor carry. We drop the ball from a 1-out carry, restart, give them a scrum. Okay, dangerous on the 22, scrum right hand side. They do an out the back, playing a little kick, and he scores again. And it's just, you can get, Roebuck pushes up way too high, finds himself perpendicular to his own try line. Do you understand what I mean by that?
Yeah.
So when you're defending, you've got to keep both shoulders in play. You can go up high, you can press high, but you can keep both shoulders in play. The second you turn, and he's facing a touchline, so he has no idea what's behind him. He's flat and he's stood still. Jalibert can do one of 8 things, and they still score. And you just go, lads. I mean, it was absolutely painful to watch.
Question for you.
Painful to watch. And that wasn't the only, there's more on that, but those two in particular, when you've started so well, and we scored 2 magical tries.
Amazing.
And we're 14-10 down. And at that stage, in terms of possession, territory, we've got it all, and we're just like, 2 entries, 14 points. What? I mean, that's...
How much of this, Greens, and this is the question, is around individual rugby IQ? Just feeling and knowing the game as opposed to systems, right? Because
you can be a breaker system when you know things are going wrong. I think I've talked a couple of times. I trained with England in the 20s a couple of years ago. So it's none of the lads who played this time. A couple of years ago, and we were doing... and it comes down that they want the 20s to play... Pretty sure it's still the same. They want the 20s to play how the seniors play, templates you can drop in, and some of them this summer who played really well in this tournament. I think it's Connor Tracy, the 8. There's some really decent players in that junior section. Unlikely to get a touring trip for the senior side, but you want to be able to drop in. Oh, same system. And, we were defending. I was 52 at the time. And they come around the corner, the attacking side, I've got a bib on, defending with the lads, and we're 50 metres from our try line. It's a 4-on-3. I'm thinking we are good as gold here. So I'm eating a Haribo. I'm on a deck chair going, it's just stay inside. Like it's trouble, but they don't want to score here. We're going to push them to an edge, then we'll get our big lumps back in the middle, bam, and press from an edge. And the winger flies right by me. It's nowhere near the ball pass. Now it's a foot race between a 20-year-old winger and a 52-year-old. I sort of got him. but with 20 metres to go, so I'd conceded 30, and he probably would have got an inside ball. Going, okay, I'll let that one slide. Young, enthusiastic buck coming in from the outside. 2 minutes later, same drill. Bang. You know that scene in Top Gun? Where it's like, hit the brakes.
Flies by, yeah.
Fly right by.
Yeah.
I'm like, I keep... flies right by. 3 times, I'm like, I know I'm not the coach here. I'm just going to have a quiet word. He says, well, that's what you're doing. I said, what are you doing? He says, it's the system. I says, we're 21-0 down. We just conceded 3 tries from the halfway line with absolutely nothing. But that's us. You just can't break the system. What do you mean you can't break the system? What's your sole purpose in life if you're defending? To stop them scoring. If it's a system. It's literally, it was totally robotic. But it's so the system, I think there's a couple of lads in there who are uncomfortable with the system, who don't play it for their club, and therefore are being pushed into it. So I don't see Elliot Daly making that error for England. He's going, there's no way we defend like that, or I'm defending with people who do that and go and worry. And admittedly, look, the caveat here is speed scrambles everything. The Mike Tyson quote, a punch in the face scrambles everything.
Yeah.
The other thing, blitzkrieg, speed of movement of opponents scrambles everything. So when it's going to the edge and Bill Beery's about to get it, you can understand why Daly goes there.
Yeah.
But it's still, no, don't do that. Whatever you do, don't do that. And the thing is, the 10, 12, 13 in the middle have done great. They've done everything they needed to. And in this occasion, actually, Roebuck's done okay. The second try, I just got no idea. 10, 12, 13. I've got no idea what they're doing on the edge. And there was a stat that came up. I borrowed it from the BBC in rounds 2, 3, and 4. We conceded 18 breaks / tries on an edge in the wide channels. I mean, do not tell me. And yeah, I know you're occasionally a broken record about sacking Borthwaite. I'm a broken record, more on a minutiae about what are they doing on an edge, and how are they trying to stop it? Because you've lost 3 on the spin, you're going to Paris, you're playing the game of your lives, and you literally keep taking a shotgun and shooting. I'll just shoot my left foot now.
Yeah. Well, look,
and 2 minutes later, you shoot the other one.
Here's my worry.
So that's a couple of things defensively.
Can we just pick up on that system bit, right? Because here's my worry about the game at the minute at the elite end in England. And it's why I asked the question about rugby IQ, right? So I value that kind of rugby IQ, that individual IQ over and above any system, right? I think that if you've got a team that can look at each other, have got rugby IQ and know how to react to a particular incident together, and it comes with time, it comes with training, it comes with that. I think that generally beats the system. It is my personal view, right? And my worry about Borthwick, okay, and my worry about the under-20s and the way that we're playing is that it is all, I keep using the phrase, it's paint by numbers. This is how we play. We box kick. How many times did you say the under-20 box kicked? That's the model that we play by. And it's been proven not to work. We have watched it not working against sides that are not doing that. And that worries me, right? And that yo-yo worries me. And that is why I just don't think that Borthwick is the man to move this team forward for all those reasons.
Okay, fine. Acknowledged, moved on. Back in the game.
Yes.
I think there was a moment where, as a back on Saturday, so it's dangerous to get and talk about old stuff. If we defended like that and done some of the things we did in that first half, I probably wouldn't have gone back in the change room at half time with the lads out that would have been waiting for me. I think there was a genuine reason. I think there was a genuine argument that the forwards, really, furious, anger, whatever, nuclear, whatever it is, at the back in that first half for how they had put. I mean, it was 27-24, and you'd go, well, why would they be furious? Because the way the backs had defended, and then for me, just the pen that Caden Murley gives away with 38:45 on the clock. So it's 27-17. We've just taken 3 to get 2 scores clear. We are killing them. Doing back peels and Ben Earl's getting in behind. We're doing tip plays. Freeman's winning contact. Spencer's roaming and playing. Finn Smith's to the line. Coles is doing pullback plays. Spencer's over the top to Chesham inside ball. Coles scores. Little nudging behind, pressure from Finn Smith, Murley scores, the Roebuck try, there was pace, there was everything. 27-17, France are another score away from doing what they did in Murrayfield, just having to chase the game from everywhere and go crazy. They restart, 27-17. Restart, we go high with a box kick. You can't take Ramos out in the air like Henry Arundel did in the air at Scotland. The French are desperate for half time. They ain't scoring there.
Yeah.
And you go in 10 points up with 15 men on the field. You know, say, oh, you're linking. Why are you linking Genji's yellow? Because that yellow does not happen.
Yeah.
If Ramos catches the ball, Caden Murley lets him land, he leathers him, he gets him on the floor. From there, pen to corner. We've talked about refs. France are now in R22. No one commits murder from the French side. Therefore, they score. And in the meantime, and you can argue till the cows come home whether it was a yellow card, but referees in 2026, doesn't matter who's refereeing, gives a penalty try and a yellow card for that incident on the screen. You can argue all you like about it, that it was harsh. That is just that's why these games are happening.
Yeah.
Because that is what they do.
Yeah.
Therefore, if that is what they do, you can't do that. So that gets it to half time and they're back in it at 27-24. They then play against 40 men, which, I mean, just, oh my goodness me. Like, I thought they were going to score every time they touched the ball.
Yeah, they were magnificent.
When they were magnificent. And there's so many key moments. I then want to get to a couple of moments. Like, Ollie Chester, you got to score under the post. You're quick, you're gone. You've had a look round to see where Jalibert is. If you're a prop, if you're Reece Carey, I sort of get you just need to get to the line in the way you think is the best. Chester's great read. He's had a look and he's kept going. So even if he couldn't got near the post, the worst would have been 15 metres in, as opposed to on the 5 metre line.
I was screaming at the TV.
That's the time when Pollock, yes, celebrate. Freeman, yes, celebrate. Do not, because you also got to understand, and I get this, Justin was unbelievable. But if you want to count him as world class, you stop the clock as he intercepts it, and you ask him the question, and I'm telling you, Brodie Retallick would know. Who's the epic? So Eben Etzebeth would know. As he intercepts, you ask him, what's Finn Smith's percentages in the kick right now? I'm telling you, and they would go, he's on 40%.
Wow, yeah.
They would know my goal kicker's having a bad night. They would be so clued in to that. And you go, oh, shut up, you're being high. Chesterham is I need to quantify it, an unbelievable player. But he could be a worldie. The way he performed. He really could be a worldie, but you got to know what's going on in the game. And, God, it's only 2 points.
Rugby IQ.
Lots of other things. So there's brilliant. How many touches did Marcus Smith have before he scored?
I'm not sure he touched the ball, did he?
No, it was his first touch.
It was his first touch.
Scored with his first touch. And what was his second touch? Banged over the conversion from the left-hand side. It was just... Anyway, so I don't know why that came in, but I just like... There's certain things in moments in games where you got to go... He hit a couple of rocks, so it wasn't necessarily his first impact or contact, but his first touch.
Can we just have a little moment for Marcus Smith? Because I think in the modern game now, I think it's becoming more and more important to have the superstar 23 player. And I think Marcus Smith now is that player. I do not think England go into any game when Marcus Smith is fit and not in the squad. I think he is the ultimate 23. He's got 50 caps now. And would you agree with that? I mean, I think that he is...
The only one I would say, who I might pick in front of him, who often sits on the bench, Damien McKenzie.
Right. He's not English, but yeah.
No, but you just said he's the ultimate number 23.
Gotcha, okay, yeah.
So that means we're looking at the world.
Yeah, but the All Blacks use Mackenzie in exactly the same way. He is the England's version of Mackenzie, correct? But you're saying Mackenzie's a bit better.
I'm saying if I had a choice, tight one.
Yeah.
Because a tight one, I'd probably go Mackenzie. But it's, you're picking, that's the only other person who's sort of keeping him out to a degree.
Yeah, I think it's. But my point is, I think it's a super strength now. I think it's something that we as a nation and as a team should feel very good about, the fact that we've got Marcus Smith in that role. Sometimes, yeah, of course, injuries, he'll be in a starting 15. Yeah. But as a general rule, I think he's. Yes. God, he could have a long career as well, couldn't he?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's got 50 caps already.
Yeah.
Then a couple of things that obviously you read a little bit of social media. And there's at the time when I watched it on Saturday night, I felt, why are they taking Ben Spencer off? Because it's 50 minutes and our scrum half comes off after 50 minutes and it's a bit, and I thought, I'm not sure that's right. Because have a look at France, and Baptiste Saran is a heck of a scrum half. What minute did he come on for France?
He didn't, did he?
Correct. They keep...
Yeah.
There's certain games and there's certain moments where you just go, I get data, I get heart rate, and then he's got the flow of the game and he's playing. So at the time I was irritated by it. And I'm going to retract my words. I thought Van Poortvliet came on He got 2 assists. He's got the pass for Marcus Smith try, and he's also got the pass for the Freeman try. So he spots. He doesn't pass to attackers 1 and 2.
Cut out 3 defenders,
Picks them out, hits it.
Agreed.
He was strong. And then you have to talk about, there's so much, I've missed so much. I was so excited. It could have been a 5-hour pod. Maybe do the extras, and we can be here till Tuesday talking about the bits I want to talk about. And I may go back in a little bit to just go, I should have talked about this, and this. But we have to talk about going 46, 45 up, and
Box kick.
we get the ball back. Chess, a brilliant restart time.
Oh, so good.
On the back of that, and I'll drop in and out of things. What are we doing getting in front of the kicker? What are we doing? I mean, by the way, he could have done it in the first half as well. He's actually let us off one. Then they get a scrum pen, then they go to the corner, and then they score a try. So you talk about us dropping the restart and defending like Muppets 7. That we also get in front of the kicker, scrum pen. So add that to they scored 48. They shouldn't have had 41 of them. I mean, that's a slight exaggeration, which Jimmy Nesbitt will get cross at me with. But let's go back to, Everyone goes, oh, no, you can't kick it here. We're 78 minutes on the clock, and it's on just inside our 10-metre line. I'm telling you now, South Africa kick it, with the score at 46-45. New Zealand kick it. Bangladesh kick it. Maidenhead Fourths kick it.
Yeah.
We don't have a fourth team. That's another story. Everyone goes. Everyone's like, oh no, keep the ball. I'm telling you, the way that Mr. Abramashvili was reffing, you're like, don't.
He did the right thing. He did the right thing.
It was
And it
so
was a decent
it's
kick
because
as well.
because the 5-second law at rucks, and once a ruck happens, you might go. Someone could go into a ruck slowly. 2 minutes is 12 rucks in your own half, 30 yards from your own line. France desperately trying to win the championship. Some of their worldies still out there. You go, you want to do 12 phases of pass ruck, pass ruck, pass ruck. You're like, come on, guys. You don't start shooting. I mean, we have criticised our scrum halves in the last 4 or 5 years, and at times Jack's one of those scrum halves walks to ruck, box kick, walks. This was totally the right call.
So what follows?
Oh my God, the kick chase. So Ramos catches it. He gets the ball on his own 10-metre line. He goes 2 yards to his left, passes a 3-yard pass to Jalibert, who then runs 40 metres through the middle of the England midfield. Underhill, poor shoulder choice. Steps in, facing the touchline, doesn't keep both shoulders live. It's a left shoulder tackle. Wants to bump him there. Chandler Cunningham South on his inside then tries to fill the hole, overstresses, chases past. Trevor Davidson, I don't know what he's doing. Literally, Jalibert just goes with a one-pass play. That, we get the ball back again. But that is like, what have you just done there? And everyone goes, and everyone's piling in, for kicking it that. I'm telling you, every rugby team on the planet, with 2 minutes to go, with the danger of being sealed off or an error in your own half, with Ramos on the field, you get it in their half, you kick chase well, you're fresh, and you defend for your lives. And we let him go. We let him go through. Henry gets a bit of a grief, Pollock for the rip, and then the offload. I watched it 4 or 5 times to go, what should he have done? What should he have done? He rips it, and he gets away, right? Just to understand his wheels, gets away from Louis Bielbieri, right? Who's hunting. I promise you, Bielbieri spots him, speeds her up, goes for him, and he
Steps out, doesn't he? Yeah.
doesn't even step out of time, slides around. A bloke that at the start of the game, our fullbacks panicked so much and our defensive system is so wrong, our sprinters have panicked so much. And he slides around from him. Then he's got the ball and he knows to get away from him, he's running laterally. So he doesn't really, and it's difficult. He has Freeman and Atkinson behind him. And if he could stop the clock there, and if he could sense those two, he'd straighten up, take the tackle, bang, one ruck needed, boot it off. Champions. Here we go. Not champions. Ireland. Champions Jimmy Nesbitt, happy man. But he just hesitates a second and neither gives it a... It's a flat squirrel thing. He gets caught in between. Gives it, and he gives it to Cade and Merley, who must be replaying this moment in his head a billion times. The ball actually bounces up.
He can catch the ball.
Ball bounces up to sort of quad height. But it's a ball. It's a ball you've got to kill there. Not fly hack aimlessly into the bloke in front, then knock it on, then they have the ball. And then everyone's had a pop at, everyone's looking at where's the high tackle, where the high tackle, where the high tackle. You quite right. And I've written down worst decision of high tackle ever. And I've looked at it a million times because you've obviously found out from a different source or you found out because I watched it on the footage.
Yeah.
It's high tackle.
Well, we don't get the benefit of listening to the
So
TMO.
you've then come in this morning and gone, it's a Trevor Davidson high shot on Joe Brennan.
Yeah.
And I've gone, when? And I watched it this morning. Oh, my God. Absolutely nailed on.
Yeah.
Terrible tackle tech for a sub. High. Bang. Actually knocks himself out.
Yeah.
Stumbles. I'm sure the medics have picked it up, but it's not my job to get involved with what's going on and whether he can play for Northampton again next week. But proper HIA there. Out, and you see him then flustering. And so... because it was that sort of high shot that I was really cross with Marrow for the slap down, which gives them a slightly easier angle for a right-footed kicker. It's like back on golf. Cam Young won the Players' Championship last night, and Matt Fitzpatrick had a 12-foot putt to take it to a playoff. And it was a left-right slide. I mean, they like a right-left. As a right-handed putt, you want a right-left just in. For Ramos, he just wanted it offset. So in that 2 minutes, I want people to get off. I mean, we hate box kicking, but you have to kick in the game of rugby.
No, I'm fine with that,
It's the slowness and the stodginess that we've talked about that I put in we can't go back to that.
Yeah.
But at that particular moment, what we like is rugby IQ, being able to think clearly. Actually, Clive posted on LinkedIn this morning, think correctly under pressure, is it was the right kick. It was the right time to kick. The execution of the kick chase I must give Bill Sweeney and Steve Borthwick
Nightmares.
No, absolute nightmares. So are there any other little bits and pieces before you move on?
Just a
you
quick
have a look.
one.
You chat.
Yeah, just a quick one on the pattern of the game, right? Because Will quite rightly is picking up on all these moments in the game where we made errors. But I think what I was so pleased with in terms of the game management was the ratio of box kicking and playing what you see, for me, was absolutely spot on, right? So I've never been a person that would say, do not box kick. I understand that's an essential part of the game, but it's not the box kicking that we've been doing against Scotland and Ireland, right? Like, I felt like the balance of the game on Saturday night was absolutely perfect. And I think a lot of England fans will intrinsically feel that as well. So that balance was right.
Yeah, and I think it's how you... It's the way in which you set up to kick and the way in which you arrive at a breakdown ready. So Dupont kicks the ball a lot.
Yeah.
But he arrives at every breakdown with a view to what's on. I arrive there. And there was a moment, again, with going back to the under-20s to understand just that they got beat by 3 points last night, I think 31-28. But there were times in the game where we went to the box kick and we walked to the ruck. And there was one moment where we walked to the ruck and we had a 5-on-2. 5-on-3. It was because of going back. And it's on our own 40-metre line. don't walk to that ruck. Get to that ruck quickly, have a look, and then if you decide it's a 1, a 2, and a 3, and a 4 with a right winger, and they've got a 12 and a 13 and a 15, then you go, okay. I still think it's the wrong decision, but arrive and look. And I think what we saw on Saturday, and I go back to it, that both banned Portfleet and Spencer to begin with for the first 50 minutes. I know a lot of people will talk about that South Africa can destroy a game and win a game just by emasculating you in the scrum and go that way. That's their special. I think other than that, if you want to survive in any era, it's why Gareth Edwards is known as the greatest rugby player of all time, right? If you want to play in any era, Gen Z, Gen Y, Gen X, baby boomer, whatever you were, whatever period of rugby you've ever played in, was it the 100th year, what year of the Le Crunch was it?
120, wasn't it?
100, which is a strange celebration. Why is it 120?
Don't know.
But okay.
Great shirts, by the way.
Yeah, but not you play in England. No. Whatever era you played on, your scrum half's heart rate, it's hard on scrum half, but that's why he is slightly littler, slightly lighter, and he gets to run. Any time your heart rate drops below 160 in a game, the pace of the game's too slow. Now, that doesn't mean you still can't kick. You arrive, can we play? You arrive, can we play? No, we don't. Bang, bang, kick. Okay, good, but back, tempo. And both Spencer and Van Portfleet played on Saturday with immense heart rates, arriving at every breakdown, scanning, looking, which is what Dupont does. And I know this is really strange. There's a Leicester scrum half who played yesterday, and he did a Dupont. And Leicester make a break up the left-hand side, I think, with Hassel Collins. And he arrives at the left-hand side, and he's running to the ruck. He's at Welford Road, playing Exeter. As he arrives in the ruck, he's 5 yards from the Exeter line. As he arrives, he looks right, sees Will Wand, Exeter narrow, picks it up, cross kick, try. And that's... So we at club level, we can do it. In the Prem Cup, in the European Cup, we can do it. We've got to give... Once you give that scrum half freedom to play tempo, Smith comes into the game, Seb Atkinson's getting the ball going forward, Freeman's attacking edges, he had an outstanding game at 13. Everything starts, and forwards are going, my nine's running, I'm going to run, as opposed to, so it's fast, slow, and I've said this before to you, I think. So he's fast, slow, and he's slow into the accelerate, bang, move. It's not stop, go. It's not stop, sprint. You're constantly moving, constantly pace. You can then make all the sorts of decisions you want under it. Congratulations to France.
Yeah, well played, France. I mean, let's just end with that, actually, because I don't think we've spent enough time talking about France. By the way, look, I'm unequivocal about that game. England should have won that game. I think that if we had been there a few times before...
Shoulda, woulda, coulda, Campo. Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
But we should have done. But all that said, over the course of the tournament, I don't think that there's any denying that France deserve that championship. Or do you think something different, Greens?
Look, I think the final tally never lies.
Yeah.
I think what's amazing about this tournament is every single country, we've talked enough about England, every single other country has a win under their belt where they can go, yeah, baby. Italy beating England, I think, tops the Scotland result. And you go, oh, why are you saying that? And I think an absolute deluge there does impact the quality of the game, whereas the quality of the performance against England, Wales, they 31-0 up.
31-0 up.
31-0 up against Italy, who, by the way, looked exhausted, but we're going to talk about that game in a second. Ireland's probably their performance against England at Twickenham tops their result over Scotland, I think.
Yeah.
Scotland's performance against France, France's performance against Ireland and in Cardiff, opening 2 games. Everyone, and I think therefore you have to put England's performance against France, even in the fact that they lost. Every country has had a performance where you just go, we could win this World Cup. Yeah, and
Rugby's in a good place, isn't it? A couple of people have messaged me saying, feels like we are in quite a good
Test match rugby's always been in a good place.
Yeah, you reckon?
I do. Twickenham. It's why people occasionally moan. It's why they can charge £200 a ticket. Now, people say there have been some empty houses at Wales for a couple of games, but I think Test match rugby.
They got over 70,000 against Italy.
Yeah,
that says it all, doesn't it?
Yeah, and the hymns and arrows are banging out.
Yeah.
And Test match rugby, I don't think has ever been in a bad place. I still think, because it brings in the big eventers, brings in people who watch on a Saturday night and go, wow. I still think club rugby has loads that it could do better. How often do we see the top teams out? When do they play? What's the format? What channel are they on? Who's playing who? Which tournament is it? What's going on? Why is he being rested? Who's playing when? What's the season do? Oh, there's no relegation. What's the point in that? So there's still loads that can be done at that level. But
it starts from the top, doesn't it? We need the game at that level to attract the big audiences, and maybe a few.
Yeah, other than football, every sport tends to have that issue. Cricket, man, we love it. But when was the last time you went to a county game?
Yes, very true. Yeah, very true. Okay, listen, we are going to move on. But before we start talking about the other 2 games, I want to.
Did we say 1 minute on France at their best? Rugby from the gods. I know they got beaten by Scotland. They scored 3 worldies in that one. We talked about it before. The Dupont try, where Carstein gets injured. If you're a kid, and I know most of the kids watch it on highlights, go and watch the Dupont try. Starts bottom left-hand corner, ends up top right-hand corner. Watch the Jagu try. There were some magical ones on the weekend. Watch the way the French offload. And there's actually one really technical point. Freeman makes a break up the left-hand side. Good break. Does him on the outside. And ends up on his chest. Ball in 2 hands. He's right to press. But in terms of technical ability, Freeman tries to offload lying down front. Ball there. Olivon takes his time, left elbow down, puts his chest up, lifts it up. Anyway, it may not make the edit, but France's ability to keep the ball moving, to palm, when you're offloading, you don't pass or throw or just drop, you just lift it into space. And their ability still is the best in the world by an absolute freaking streak.
So you're right, the French were unbelievable at times. I tell you what lived in my head was your analysis of the French from a couple of weeks ago, where at times it looked like training ground stuff, right? Where they leave the ball in space. Yeah. Step in, leave the ball in space, down narrow channels. That is the thing that the French do, I think, better than anyone else.
And it's a really simple, when you break it down, it's a really simple idea for an attacker. There's space, you run into space. So what does the defender then do? Steps into the space. So what has the defender then left?
Yeah.
Space.
Yeah.
So the support runner then goes, I'm going to go and fill that space. And it's literally attack space, early ball, turn hips of defender, can't get back into it, next one, turn his defender. And there are so many good tries from this tournament. But if you want to understand the French at their best, watch the Jagu try, the back end against Scotland.
Yeah. Okay, we've spent almost 50 minutes, and as you say, we could maybe have spent 2 days talking just about...
That's my first page of notes.
Just about France, England. Right, before we move on to the other games, I'm going to draw our dear listeners, watchers' attention to Our sponsor. We've actually got a sponsor for the final episode of the Rugby Mates pod, this Six Nations. It's the sports commentators. And actually, there's a lot of synergy with what we do and what the sports commentators do. Let me explain very quickly. They are a business that work with the greatest sports commentators across all sorts of sports, and they take the notes from these commentators and they frame them up, and they allow sports geeks like you and I to look at these notes, these particular notes on each and every individual that's taking part in that fixture. And as a kind of gift for a sports connoisseur, it's amazing. You can stick them up in your downstairs loo if you haven't got 15 caps like you've got in your downstairs loo. And you can have it, and it takes you straight back to that particular fixture, that particular sporting moment. And
what's amazing about it is people think, I could do that. Honestly, the amount of people who go, and I'm not talking about the colour. So there's two commentators. There's the as live commentator, which is Bill McLaren, Miles Harrison, Nick Mullins, Alice Reek, and all that sort of crowd. And then there's the pundit or the co-commentator, which would be a Benny Kay or a David Flatman. So Benny Kay and David Flatman obviously would do a lot of research, but actually will probably turn up with a blank sheet of paper, and they're just working on. You got to say what you see, what's taking place in the game, and try and educate the listener or the viewer on what's just happened. The main commentator has to talk to you about heights, weights, favourite pasta, what they did at school, what they did as an 11-year-old, is their mum in the crowd, any special moments taking place. You just think, what? Like everything. Because if you think the ball's in play or a game lasts now for about 100 minutes, it's a lot of time when the ball's in play for only about 36 minutes. So their detail and their analysis, and then the different, some of the people I've worked with, would I bring the Tipex out when someone went off?
Yeah.
It's dangerous now because they can come back on. But they'd have Tipex and right period, stickers that come in. So a new guy comes in the 13 slot, rather than then commentate down here on 1 to 23, 13's gone off, so 22 has gone off, rather than your eye line there, they'll take the sticker, move him up, drop him down. It's a science and an art. It's an art to be that good with words, but it's then a science in terms of the process that prepares and preps these commentator legends to be able to suddenly, Aguero, drink it all in, I swear you'll never see anything like this again. And they think it's all over. It is now, which allows them, again, back to freedom and framework. They've got a framework that gives them the comfort to know they can fill and inform. And that gives them the crutch to be able to see something special and not have it in their head and go. Gabby Logan at the end, I know she's less of a sort of sports commentator at the end when the women won the Euros. They think it's all over. It's only just begun.
Yeah.
Talking about women's sport. And that expertise and professionalism they have within their job allows them to bring the magical moments and be real with it, because they've got so much prep around them that you never drop below a 9 out of 10 in terms of interesting.
Yeah. Well, there we go. So they're our sponsors, the sports commentators. By the way, they are flying. Incredible business. And it feels really good for us because there's a real affinity. And at the end of this pod,
they love detail.
They love detail. And at the end of this pod, if you're still with us at the end, I mean,
and most of them aren't very funny.
Yeah,
like
they are.
us.
Yeah, they are. But at the end of this pod, Greens, I'm going to present you with a mysterious sheet, and I'm going to get your recollections.
I'm glad you spelled that right.
Yeah. So I'm going to get your recollections on that game, because I think it might be quite special. And I guarantee you right now, you've got no idea what is coming at the end of this pod. So
guess the game
for that. Okay, right. We are moving on to the next game, which was Ireland-Scotland. I predicted this wrong. I did feel that Scotland were going to do it.
Did you go 3 from 3 the week before and none from 3 this week?
No, I went 2 from 3 this week. I got one result wrong.
I thought you said England were going to win.
No.
I thought you said...
No, I said France. I said France were going to win.
You said Italy were going to win.
I said France were going
Italy
to...
were going to win. Change his mind.
No,
now.
I
Check
didn't.
the tapes.
No, I didn't.
Check the tape.
Right,
Producer Brad.
I'm going to show you my bet slip. I definitely didn't. I
You're
said,
still lost.
I was most sure about Wales winning, and they won. I thought Scotland were going to beat Ireland.
You backed Italy every
and
day.
I said, no, last week.
Oh, okay. Well,
And I said...
the gambler only ever tells his winning
and
bet.
I said France were going to hammer England, so I got
Yeah.
that very badly wrong. But let's talk about Ireland, Scotland, because I'm going to take you to a specific moment in the game at 26-21. Scotland have come back. I feel like the momentum is with them. I think we're on 67 minutes, and you get a feeling, don't you, in games, or I certainly do.
Oh, no, he drops the restart.
Well, boom. That's what I'm going to talk about because listen, I'm a massive Hugh Jones fan,
Yeah.
right? And I don't want to isolate.
He shouldn't have
one
caught it. It
player.
wasn't his call. Someone else's call.
Okay.
And there's confusion.
Okay.
But that's what happens.
There is confusion.
It's
You're right.
That's where they all happen.
But actually, over the course of the game, he didn't have one. He didn't have one of his best games, and I felt like if Scotland were going to beat Ireland, they did have to be not immaculate, but very, very good, and they just didn't quite hit. I know everyone's talking about Ireland are magnificent on the floor, are incredible, but Scotland didn't quite hit the heights of the first couple of weeks.
So to Scotland, one of my worries about Scotland is, I woke up in the middle of the night thinking about it, and I don't know how my brain works. Going,
Nor do I. Nor does anyone.
They concede back-to-back tries too quickly, too often. And again, I've come to it with no data points. I'm thinking New Zealand in the autumn, Argentina in the autumn. I'm thinking this game, bang, 19-7 down. I mean, it scores 20 minutes on the clock. I think one of their, again, Gregor might get cross with me and go, no, the data points doesn't show that. I feel like with Scotland, like in cricket, you get one wicket, you get two. With Scotland, too often, you score one, you score two. And against the top sides, you can recover from that. They came back and they beat Wales in other games. I think against the top sides that happens. Then you put so much pressure on yourself to be word perfect. After that, and against the very best, that's a difficulty. They dropped restarts. Their poor kick chase at times. They didn't quite seem to have the same intensity. To poor kick chase, conceded daft penalty for offsides. This is all early on. At 14-7, the first three touches of the ball, Ireland get into the 22, score. Scotland get into the 22, score. Ireland get into the 22, score. Scotland get into the 22. The first time it stopped, don't score. For once, Finn Russell-Dithers on the ball for a second, and McCloskey gets him, and they had an overlap. I'd never seen him dither. That normally goes to Kinghorn and was waiting. 3-on-1, they score. Bang, 14-all. Just tiny, again, like what? Tiny little moments. And then from not scoring on that, then Blair Kinghorn does an Elliot Daly. Just from a wide left-hand side scrum, it's actually a free kick. They play a really easy play. I mean, look, it's a good play. 9-10, 10 it's 13, right? So they've missed the 12, you get that? 9-10, missed 13. Fullback comes short, Osborne comes short. It goes out the back to McCloskey. Kinghorn's next to him, fires it over the top. Balakoon runs in. Just 19-7. Just good sides make you pay for errors like that. So they were just always quietly chasing. I've got written down accuracy, not quite there. Russell has a nibble but turned over. Poor starts. They ran a start of the second half. They run a set piece play that Ireland read and smash them. It was just, and then they had wow. I get it. They had wow moments, but for them to triple crown and put more pressure on France in the final game, they just made too many moments that they get right when they're on song and they got wrong when they're slightly off. And Ireland are too good. And the scoreline's unfair because they're chasing the game. Unfair. They're trying to get it. They're chasing the game wide. Width, error, unfortunate. Lovely try for O'Brien. He scores 43-21. So that's Scotland. I still think overall, I think Scotland are in great shape.
Yeah.
The argument will be, and a lot of people have come back to me and said, look, I love your positivity and your energy. But again, the Ireland game felt like it was a sort of a World Cup quarterfinal, and we got beat again. It felt like this was the one where we can do something we haven't done in ages, and we got beat again.
It's valid as well. It's valid criticism.
What I would say is their strength in depth. They look hungry. Their first try, for example, normally you'd expect Scotland to fizz wide. Is it Graham? Is it Kinghorn? Is it Stain? Is it
phases?
But route one, bang, smash, Ferguson, Gilchrist carrying, Dempsey's clean out on Van der Flair, offloading, in and around contact, Darge, little tip. The Darge try in the second half comes from 2 forwards, tip, Gilchrist, just
so good.
Beautiful to watch. But they got too many other bits of their game wrong. Ireland have built steadily after a game and a half of being pretty average in this tournament away in Paris, first half against Italy. Then since then, they've hit the accelerator. And it's just that first try. I mean, again, details. They do kick long, and actually Hugh Jones catches the first restart, the irony of all ironies. Van der Fleer, kick chase, chops him, bam, on the deck. They get the ball back. Osborne, groaning in this game. He's not a flyer of a fullback. Second receiver gets in the right position, comes in as first receiver. He's comfortable in the fly half jersey, allows Crowley to step back in and have a breath and watch. Keeps his options open, Osborne, keeps his chest square, carries hard, tips well, goes out the back nicely. Beautiful addition to have. Pen to corner, they go to their set piece play. They run a back peel. They run a decoy with McCloskey. Balakoon slides into the outside channel. And then what I love, the confidence of their hands. You get told that if the scrum half pass on a goal line ruck is longer than 10 metres, you need to be deep because they're blitzing. They had the confidence of Jameson Gibson Park to hit Doris flat, stood still, flat on that, and out the back, bang, Crowley, Osborne in under the post. They fizz. Their pack was rumbling around. Furlong had that look in his eye. McCarthy's back to his best. Conan doesn't make an error. Doris was brilliant. Burns stealing breakdowns, getting blood, coming back on, stealing breakdowns.
God, he was magnificent.
Cross, I mean, because he's had a quiet season, it was clear that Sheehan should have been in everyone's fantasy team. He's back to best, scoring tries. O'Toole did well as a loose head. McCloskey's the 12 of the tournament, makes the team of the tournament. Crowley looked comfortable at 10. Ringrose quietish but safe, bit like Conan, one of those old heads that just makes very few errors. Loved that Tommy O'Brien did well. Osborne's grown into it. And Balakoon looks a proper player. And I've sort of gone through them, all of them, and they've just gone, they put pressure. The Scottish backline couldn't function because they held their shape. If you're playing Scotland, which is what France didn't do, which is what England didn't do, they held their shape defensively. Go to the line, Sione, and we're still here. You pull it out the back, we'll come through as one. You hit Jones, we'll wait for him, we'll hit him. You pull it all the way, but you carry yourself. I'm stood right here. I'm called McCloskey and I'm a big lump. So they just didn't allow Scotland to make their entries into the 22 count. And the engine and the work rate for each other, they make their first error Ireland off a back play. Good read from Russell. Kick through, you think that they're on here. First 2 players back, Van der Fleer and Doris. Just energy, work rate from the forwards. Jameson Gibson Park, so clever. I think we might do it later. I think I'd give him 9 in the tournament.
Yeah, I think I would as well.
Ben White's been outstanding. Dupont's been decent. I mean, decent. But if I'm tempted not to pick loads of Frenchies and who might not get in, and that's daft. You either pick him or you don't. He's either the best or another. I think I'm on this tournament. I think I'll pick Jameson Gibson Park at 9.
Well. Yeah.
So they were great. So they attacked well, they defended well at key moments, and well done them. And the bench impact as well. Aki comes on, Frawley comes on. They straighten up, they square shoulders, they offload for the O'Brien first try. They keep the pace up. They don't try. What I liked about them at 26-21. They didn't try and hold on because Scotland were back into it. They said, no, you come at us, we're coming back at you. Kept the tempo high, kept playing. So with so much, I wrote down, it's a Titanic game now, 1-score game. There's so much on the line, and I've written Irish and Ireland are still playing. Doris is still offloading. JGP, Jameson Gisman, is still keeping the pace up. They're still playing where most sides at 26-21 think, oh my God, final whistle, please go, stop, kick it, defend.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, look, it was another magnificent game as well. And I think that for me, I love watching the sort of the emotional side of the game. And when you watched the reactions of the Irish players in that victory, first of all, it said to me that proper test match. But there was they knew how good Scotland are. And they knew what battle they were in for and what battle they had, and you really felt that at the end of the game that it was a big moment for
Triple
Ireland.
crown. They love a triple crown.
Yeah,
like I said,
What did you say?
give them the trophy.
Give them the
Make
trophy.
a new one. They've won so many. So you're doing most tournaments. You win 3 on the spin or whatever. You get to keep it.
Yeah,
Make a new one.
yeah. Now we haven't actually done this. I did mean at the start of this tournament to give kind of maybe we'll come to it at the end. A marks out of 10 for each team of the tournament. We'll maybe come to that at the end.
Yep.
Let's move on to Wales versus Italy.
Yeah.
Not many people saw that margin of victory, 31-0 up
Yes.
at one point.
Pace, zip. The line-out was a little bit loose, but Danny picked the same team for the first time in 9 games. So you see what happens with a little bit of consistency. Hawkins and James, 12 and 13, growing their partnership. You're talking about little units. Ellis Mee, and Josh Adams on the wings. Lewis Rees-Zammit looking increasingly comfortable at fullback. I was really pleased with Dan Edwards, who got dropped. Costello comes in, played well, but got injured. He's back in. That drop goal that shows a fly up who's loving life. They've got a great back row in Man, Botham and Wainwright. Wainwright again, the power to run over Nicotera for the first try. Jenkins and Carter. It's called the engine room. The second one's called the engine. What an engine those two boys give him. Reece Carre is everyone's most popular loose head prop. Thomas Francis didn't finish the whole game, but Dewey Lake is back playing well. They've got panned up to the crowd, and Jack Morgan's still to come back, and there's a couple of others who'll come back into the side post-injury. They had ambition, they had confidence, they had smiles on their faces. The flip side of that at times, and I know Lamar, what an ambassador he is, the captain said, no excuses. We weren't fatigued. It's just...
They were.
So what I was speaking to my youngest about it is that the time you can spot when a team is fatigued or just lost a bit of energy. I know people say, defensive pressure from the outside. No, there's no point having defensive pressure on the outside. You might say chicken or egg. If you fly up from the outside and no one moves on the inside, you just go, well, I'm just going to duck back inside and go 5 yards. And Lewis Rees-Zammit kept doing it, and Josh Adams did it. So they're getting up. Ioane and Lyon had energy and were pushing up on the outside, blocking off the outside channels. And then Wales could then go make 30 yards through the middle, whereas previously you're running into some Italian hunk of chunk. I know Ferrari didn't play, but Hassa did okay. Fischetti and Nicotera and Cannone, they missed Samben in the second row. These guys, you were dropping back in and you were getting leathered by them. That inside press, the heat defensively means just you skinny boys who are quick, do not think just because they've shut you off on the outside, you can find easy yards back on the inside. You just don't want to go there. You never wanted to run back on the inside in New Zealand. You'd run into Frank Zinzan-Brook and co. Or George Smith for Australia, the Totai Kefu. You're like, oh my God, do not go back in there. You never ran back on the inside against South Africa because you just it's like a sausage making machine. You come out the other side of it. And Italy's heat and pressure wasn't there, which allowed Wales to play on the outside but have an opt out to make easy yards on the inside and made it nice. But you still got to do that, and you still got to take the chances. And they really did. They played really well, and they're winning pens on the floor. They're fighting for each other. They've got that mongrel as a collective unit. Italy just lacked accuracy. When Garbisi misses a sitter, you just think this isn't. It just sets the tone for the day. Their aerial threat was good, but they're exhausted post a big win, and also their squad. They sort of picked the whole. I know, just said picking the same team, it helps. But when it's the same team week after week after week and you can't drop people in and out, and I know there's a week off, but it's still 5 games in 35 days. And in the end, there was just no forward pressure. They were exhausted. And the squad looked out on their feet. And they were brave to keep coming back at 31-0 down to get it back to 31-17. You say they had 2 disallowed tries. But Wales were doing their victory lap and just so chuffed.
Yeah, they were.
And even though they conceded late, you saw the emotion come out from Tanya and his coaching staff after high-fiving each other, hugging each other. They had 64% possession. They were hungry to defend. It was the best. Their first half was their best half of the championship, and Italy's first half was their worst half of the championship. And I'm pleased for Wales.
So am I. And I think I'm most pleased for Wales because if you look at their journey, and this is maybe the story of the championship really, is the journey that all these teams have gone on, and Wales kind of epitomise it, but epitomise it from an upward trajectory. So if we look at where they were at Twickenham, I mean, that was as low as you can get probably. And you look
I think the week after was lower. They got beat by 50 by France at home. You sort of can go on the road.
Okay.
But they were humbled by, 50 by France. Jalibert scored 3,000 points on his own in fantasy rugby.
Yeah.
They were just cut apart. And then they said, who's going to turn up for the other home games? Because I sort of get, we won't travel, but why would I go and watch us get beat by 50 at home?
Yeah.
And then Scotland game performance.
The Scotland lifted everyone, didn't it?
27-23, didn't they?
Yeah. Scotland lifted everyone. But then you look at where they are now and they look like a side that goes into the summer series and can maybe...
I've been reminded, I don't know, this is so cheap, but one of Martin Bayfield's, the ex-second brilliant after dinner speaker.
Yeah, he's
really
amazing.
He'll be saying now he can use his line again, which is, isn't it great to see Wales on the crest of another slump?
Harsh.
I know, but they don't like us.
Yeah.
It's friendly rivalry. I go down there, they give me a load of grief. It's fun. It's great to see it.
Brilliant. Okay, let's go with our team of
We're going to leave someone out here, aren't we, by accident? But we'll try our best.
You're always going to do it. We're doing this on
Brad,
the fly.
you're good at this. Shout names or we forget.
Yeah.
You've got to have Reece Carey at Loosehead.
He's got to be, hasn't he?
Just for that. I mean, there's an argument.
By the way, that's probably the moment of the tournament, isn't it? Reece from halfway line?
35 out.
Yeah, correct, yeah.
35 out.
But it was a great moment.
Brilliant. Yeah, totally. I think, yes. I mean, performance-wise, he's there. There was, again, so we're careful so we don't leave anyone out. Schumer's decent. Genge was okay. Discipline hurt him.
Brilliant against France.
And if you, Gross might, you got to give it Carey.
Yeah, Carey's in. Okay, hooker. I've got a left field here.
You're on left field. You're going Nicotera.
No. God, no.
No. He was good. I would go. I think you got to go Marchand. Plays all 5 games in the championship winning team. Keeps Movaka on the bench. Super strong. There were Sheehan in parts, but dented by that first night. Missed another of the games because he was rested. So on the back of that,
I think Dowie Lake has been.
You can't come last and have the first 2 people in the dream team.
No, you are absolutely
I'd pick
correct.
Thomas Francis at 3, Dapper Jenkins at 4, Carter at 5. You can't.
Okay, fine. But a mention for Dowie Lake. I think he's been very, very good.
Yes. Tight head. I don't go Aldegheri because I think the French scrum came under pressure. I think it's Hayes, Begerson, or Furlong. That's not really limiting it, is it?
By the way,
I think. I think Hayes.
you're one to watch from the England team when we started the tournament. Joe Hayes was your one to watch. Yeah.
So I'm not just. I think.
He's been good.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay, go with it. I think he's the only Englishman who gets in the team, obviously.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go Hayes. Second row's so difficult Because the French
Isn't it?
changed Flamand, Meafou, Olivon, Guillard the whole time.
I think you could have all of them.
Difficult to get 4 into 2 jerseys,
Correct.
especially those 4 huge chunks. Tag Burn, Cummins, very good. Can't have Chessman on back 4, and he also played 6. So I think
the Z from Italy, what
Zambanin.
Zambanin, he's been really good. As well.
I think you have to have Olivon
Yes.
because of his versatility and your dream team, and he played back row in a game. I think Olivon. You go with Olivon, and I think you probably go with Byrne, or do you go Zambanin? When Menenchello's getting in, I think you go Tag Byrne.
Yeah, fair enough. I don't think
Byrne,
anyone can argue
Byrne
with that.
and Olivon.
Yeah, awesome.
Back row, wow. Earl does get a mention.
Yes.
I think he missed the last game. Jalanche or Doris? Wainwright gets talked about. Dempsey gets talked about. Jalanche or Doris? I'm going to go Doris. Am I going to go Doris? Jalanche or Doris? I'll come back to that.
Are you?
At 6, Kroos. Plays
Yeah.
every minute of every game.
Yeah.
Guess who I'm going to compare him to?
Hilly.
Yes. Why? Because I don't know what he does.
Just always there.
No one knows what he does.
Always
What do you do? I don't know. Make him man of the match. What do you do? I've got no idea. He must have been brilliant. Conan was good. Mann was excellent for Wales.
Yeah.
Lamaro. I tell you who didn't mention at 8, Canoni. Lamaro was excellent at 6. But I think Kroos, Doris, and your 7, Dage.
Yeah.
Van der Fleer or Timony. No. Jagou. So good. So good. Which 7 am I missing? Give me a country. Van der Fleer named it Scotland, Dage. So is it Dage or Jagou? Italy, Zuliani. No. Is it Dage or Jagou?
I think Jagou tips it. Is my view.
What do you think? Dage. Let's get a Scot in there. Let's throw Dage in there.
Yeah.
Nice. I
Fair
mean, it's
enough.
not about.
By the way, I didn't think Dempsey got enough airtime. I know you mentioned
I
him.
love him.
I,
Yeah, love him.
He was awesome.
And missed. So what's our back row then? Kroos, Doris, Dage.
yep.
Yeah, we're probably being harsh a bit on France, aren't we? But there aren't many French people who be watching this podcast, so.
Perfect. Good rationale. 9.
9.
9.
Jameson Gibson Park.
Yeah.
White, outstanding. Dupont. I think the problem with Dupont, if he's not 11 out of 10, because he was only 10 out of 10,
Yeah.
you go. But I just think if Dupont's not in there, Saran comes in, I still think they win the championship. I think if Jameson Gibson Park isn't in the Ireland team,
They don't come second, yeah.
they don't.
No, I agree. I 100% agree. It's the right call.
Jameson Gibson Park, 9.
Dupont's out purely for his 30-yard forward pass in his
10.
own goal line at Murrayfield. That's it. That's the only reason he's gone.
No, it's brilliant.
What, the 30-yard forward pass?
Yeah, because if you put, it's going to be a scrum down anyway, so you might as well throw it.
Yeah.
So
I like that. I thought that was terrible. It's brilliant.
but if you're thinking about it, what's the worst case scenario? It's either a 5-minute scrum or
Correct.
a 5-minute scrum.
Didn't hurt.
And
Okay,
that's
10.
what good players do. They mitigate the cost of failure. If this goes wrong, what happens? 10, difficult. I think it's got to be Jalibert. Has to be Jalibert. You go, how do you not pick Finn Russell?
Yeah.
Mate, Jalibert in Cardiff, in Paris on opening night, even with an error, an intercept for Chesham.
Yeah.
Every time he touches the ball, which game did he miss? He missed. So he did play in Scotland and he did miss. So he played in Scotland and got battered. But Finn Russell played in Italy and got beat, and played in Dublin and got beat. And it's not about goal kicking because you've got to have Ramos at the back. So if you're thinking about you've got to have Russell, mate, you've got to have Jalibert.
Okay. Fair play. I think I'd have Russell.
Yeah.
Maybe just because I'm in love with him.
Yeah, I get that. Oh.
So that's it. But yeah, I hear you.
And the other thing I also think, because everyone goes through the other thing, the Gaultier-Jalibert relationship, you dropped, you're out, you're not playing. You blamed him for the England defeat last year, excluded him, had to fight his way back in. You always sort of feel it's a little bit like when Charlie Hodgson was playing for England and Johnny was injured. It's like, well, Johnny's back, he'll play. You've always felt the Roman Antomac shadow. Well, when Antomac's fit, he's come back in. That can hurt you as a 10. Right, and so when they back Finn Smith now, hopefully for the next few games, you get a run again as a 10. You see the confidence of a 10 to be able to run a team. So I think to have been doubted as well and come back and still go, this is how I play. I'm still going to chip it in my own 22 and get it back and go the length and score and be part of the thing. And I think particular moments, the Dupont try against Scotland, Dupont just throws the ball into space, bottom left-hand corner of his own 22, and Jalibert sees it float and goes, I'm off.
He's gone.
Here we go.
Yeah.
So there, McCloskey at 12.
Yes. No argument.
Tuapolati was decent.
Yeah.
But McCloskey 12.
McCloskey's offloads.
And Moefana didn't play in all the games. I'll tell you who should get a mention. Number 12 from Pau played 2 games. The 20-year-old Bro Boiry. I don't know what he has to do to get into the team. I come in, I win, score 2, and you drop me, and you then get beat by Scotland by 40. Do the math, Fabian. And here's the interesting thing, which I don't like to do, but you have to get Menoncello in. So you play McCloskey and Menoncello. Are they both 12s?
Yeah, they are. I think they are.
But Menoncello has the wheels, and I think him and Brex, like a lot of good centres, rotate round. And then where I think about 13, Gaeton was good, didn't play in all of them. Deporter, good until he was injured against Scotland. Who played England? 13, Freeman, decent last game. Ringrose, okay. Jones, not his best championship. Wales, Eddie James did all right. I think you'd be a bit of a pedant to say Greens, you're picking 2 12s. And if both of them were just smashers and bashers, I get it. But Menoncello's wheels and the try he scored against England on the reverse angle and then skipped around the fullback says, I'm pretty sure he's comfortable at 13.
Yeah, 100%.
McCloskey and Menoncello.
Yeah.
Let's go straight to fullback. Ramos.
Yeah.
What I love about him, I reckon his best 100-metre time is about 15 and a half seconds. I reckon his 1 rep max on a bench press is 72 kilos. He puts those little 1 kg dumbbells on little rings on either end just to max out at 72. He's the sort of kid who'd have been on a 5K run hiding behind the bush. a K in. Going, I'm not doing this. Why am I doing this? What's the point of doing this? I just want to play. He's literally the kid who just wants to play. Who else gets a mensch? Kinghorn, yes. You can't pick any of the England fullbacks. Wales, Lewis Rees-Zammit, decent. Ramos.
Yeah.
Wings. Oh my God, I was going to say this is hard. No, it's not.
It's not hard at all.
Louis Bilberry.
Yeah.
10 on the trot.
Yeah.
10 games on the trot.
Yeah, just move on.
The stats great. Keeps pulling me up.
Yeah, I know.
Tries per game.
I know. I like that.
In the tries per game ratio of people who've scored at least 10 tries.
You're right up there. Top second.
Yeah.
All right, there we go.
Don't mind being second to him.
No, take that.
I'd have him in a foot race. If he was carrying a
By
fridge.
the way, when you were talking about Ramos, were you talking about yourself as well?
Yeah. That's why I love him. Weedy, skinny kid that everyone thinks shit. And like, hey, I've scored again.
Okay.
I know you can beat me up. Oh, dear, try. Lawnmower, hand grenade. Done them all. And blonde hair. Henry, you've learnt from the best kid. Other wing. Hard other wing.
Yeah.
Shout me names. Atisogbe scored a bucketful, but I feel like there's someone better than Atisogbe. Balogun.
Yeah, I think Balogun's my pick.
Right wing.
I think he's been outstanding.
Tommy Abraham was good, didn't play enough.
Yeah.
Atisogbe good.
Balogun's in.
Who are the England wings?
No.
No? Okay.
Well, I mean,
okay.
no. They just can't.
Welsh
can't be in.
wings?
Too many Roebuck. No,
Me, okay. Scottish wings, they changed too much. Stain,
Stain and Darcy both
Stain.
did well, didn't they? Yeah.
decent, but I think Balakoon.
Yeah, Balakoon.
Tell you why I don't pick Stain, and you go, oh, so at fault. Sorry, Kyle, for the second Italian try before the rains came and gave them a massive lead. And up a short side pressed, went over the top, allowed Lamaro to do an easy pass over the top.
Yeah, I remember talking about that. Yeah.
And you go, if that had been Finn Russell, I'd sort of he could make that pass. But if a back row forward, if you make it that easy, a back row forward can just beat you and score up left hand side.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kyle.
Yeah.
Who do we go? 14. Balakoon.
Balakoon.
What other country we missed out? Feel like we missed a country's wing. France, we've talked about them. Ireland, was in. Italy. No. Oh, come on, we've got to mention Lina and Ioane.
Yeah, we have got to mention. I mean, Lina, not Ioane. I don't think is up there.
Ioane's decent.
He's decent.
Lina,
he's nowhere.
Lina's
near.
a right wing.
Yeah.
Instead of Balakoon.
No, I'm still Balakoon.
Balakoon, yeah, I get it.
I think he's the man. I think he had such a good tournament.
Did he only play 3 games?
Balakoon, he played all of them.
Did he?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Pretty certain.
Didn't play the opener. Well, that's a bad one. It's a good one to miss because they got battered by France. So what was their second game?
Didn't they?
Yes, it was Italy. Let me just check it then. See how many. I don't think he played that as many games as you think. Scores and fixtures. Let's go back to February.
No,
second game was February the 4th.
He did play against Italy. I'm sure he did.
Because
I remember going, who's this Balakoon kid? I remember you saying, who's this skinny kid on the wing?
14th of Feb, Ireland, Italy, Balakoon, and he scored.
Yeah, Balakoon's
that'll do us. Ireland, Balakoon, England, he scored. Oh my God, how are we even thinking about this? Stop wasting my time, Campo.
I'm not, I said Balakoon.
Played but didn't score against Wales. And played and scored against Scotland. 3 tries. Balakoon, landslide. So we can zip through that quickly off the top of my head and go quiet in the cheap seats. Ideally, you'll get the full chat of this, but my team of the championship would be, apologies, no first names, Carré from Wales, Marchand from France, Hayes from England, Olivon from France, Byrne from Ireland, Kroos from France, Darge from Scotland, Doris from Ireland, Jameson Gibson Park from Ireland, Jalibert from France, Louis Bielbieri from France, McCloskey from Ireland, Menoncello from Italy, Balakoon from Ireland, Ramos from France.
So that's it. Team of the championship. Happy days. Good team, that isn't it? Would that win the championship?
You'd hope so.
You'd hope so, wouldn't you?
That'd be the whole definition. If it doesn't, if it didn't, it would be a terrible selection.
Gang, thank you for sticking with us through this tournament. Really enjoyed it. It's been a lot of fun. It has been. I'm looping back to the start. It has been the greatest tournament of Six Nations, and I just love the Six Nations. Right, we're going to end with this. It's a little gift, Greens. I'm quite excited about giving this to you.
Okay.
So this is from the Sports Commentators, and it's got a lot of family heritage, this, and I'm going to let you
Is it Dad?
through it.
Yeah, it is Dad. So, what do we got here? England, New Zealand. I was there. England, New Zealand was going with. Oh, yeah. I mean, so the great stat on that is, and I might get my numbers wrong, Warren Gatland sat on the bench for New Zealand how many times? And I'll get it slightly wrong, but roughly. How many times did he sit on the bench?
Like, he sat on the bench like 60, 70.
So I think it was about 60 times.
Yeah.
And he got how many caps?
2.
0.
0 caps.
Sean Fitzpatrick never came off for 1 minute once. In today's game, I'm going to be the old man now, caps come too easy. Hey, you've got to 50 caps. You've probably played 74 minutes of rugby.
Yeah. It's a totally different game. It's a totally different game,
Is it?
isn't it? Yeah, I think
No,
it
it's
is.
not. It's exactly the same. Get the ball, go that way. And they've got it, twat 'em. How's it changed?
Okay, fine. I'm talking about the way that
It hasn't
benches
changed
are
at all.
used.
We've
The way that benches are
overcomplicated.
used,
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I'll give you that one.
Yeah.
Finally, even a broken clock's right twice a day.
Right. Thanks, folks.